But no, I mean, I'm over in at the union, but I have connected to like 350, union intensity.
Okay, I like four.
Alright.
Stop it.
Me? Me? What? You suck it.
Okay, let me.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm getting 500. I'm getting 500.
Oh shit.
It just takes a little while.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait, what's the average? What is your average number? You got an average of 400 and jumped it. Why is your average number? What is this? No, not
What was that?
my math is wrong.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Okay, well, actually, if it was,
I ain't gonna. I'm like.
if it was user limited, you know, theoretically, if it was user limited, we should add up.
Wait, why is yours so low? I don't know. Wait. What about?
Actually, I don't even know what I'm connected.
Okay, wait. Why is it full person? Okay, let's see. Oh wait, no, you're not.
Bro, I got like 250, bro. I'm like they freaking.
Oh.
Okay.
What question?
I don't know.
Alright, I think we should probably start now. 6:22. Okay. So yeah, this is kind of the first time we're gonna meet. So as I discussed in the Discord,
It's gonna be the most messy one.
it probably will be, but it's actually pretty organized. But what we're gonna do is every Thursday at this room from 6 to 8 p.m. We're just going to collectively join. More specifically, me and Dina, as well as the leads and anyone else who's interested in seeing what's going on, and we're going to discuss as a collective like the direction in which the project's going, without probably going too much into the specifics because that's kind of more or less for the internal meets. More on that later. But I just want to give you all a quick reminder of what our first sprint is going to be. So we did discuss about it in our kickoff that the whole goal for this is essentially to create a database outline as well as a just basic outline of the, this isn't mentioned here, but we also want to create like the Figma itself, so the shell of what the front end should look like for most of the app. And then maybe if we have some time, we can kick off with an authorization as well as like a main page and login. So that's kind of stretching it right now though. In terms of like learning skills as well as learning important skills for like just creating projects, so like thinking ahead of time as well. I think that's kind of the main point of this. At this point, I'm gonna assume that we know Flutter. If you don't, there's like so many resources in this Discord as well as in our main Discord because Dina had a workshop for it last week in which we posted an example along with the slides for it. Now, as for the backend team, I think REST API is mostly what we're going to be doing in JavaScript, I assume, in TypeScript, which, okay, that just made it a bit harder, but in TypeScript. So we are going to assume that you know that as well. If enough of y'all kind of don't know it or would like some assistance, we could have like a very kind of small workshop for it sometime. What?
What?
Let Hans
I
get
didn't sign up for that.
Okay, fine, he could do it. Yeah, but yeah, we can definitely have something like that, just kind of to teach around the basics that you'd need to know. So this is kind of independent. Would have to assume you know TypeScript, but we just teach all about like certain protocols like get and put and all that, as well as how to create those and some just general HTTP practices like response codes and such, which are just good practices to have in mind when you're doing stuff like this. So when it comes to communication, I think we would need to work on, or we'd need to have a way of establishing intercommunication. So that's like with essentially people on the other team. So sometimes we're going to try and keep it as independent as possible to y'all. So if you're on the back end, if you're on the front end team, for example, and you're assigned something, chances are you shouldn't have to talk too much with like another developer on the backend team about something. That's mostly meant for the developers, the team leads to kind of handle, because, well, that's kind of where more of the decisions are coming from. But these meetings also serve as a good example for that. How they will be handled is in the Discord. We already have 3 channels. I think we have a specific, I'll have to add that then. we have these specific channels right here that everyone has access to. So this is a perfect spot to do it. But then we'd also probably have a voice channel in both the back end and front end channels for that. I'd say internal communication is probably something we all will need to like emphasize a bit, or we'll probably be doing that a lot more often because that's just the nature of the work. So usually after the team leads assign people to certain tasks that might require them like needing to understand like what another person was doing on something they created as and such, and we could try to express that as accurately as possible through just like good GitHub practices like commit messages and such. But sometimes you do just need to contact them, so we'll probably be using GitHub. I think it was like what tasks? GitHub, the task board on GitHub. What's that called? Okay, yeah. So we'll be using. Yeah, so associated with the repo, you will see a GitHub project. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. But we're essentially gonna have two separate project boards for front end and back end teams, and this will kind of just keep track of what people worked on over time. So it's a good resource for y'all to just check and understand what people have worked on in case you need to know it. You can also contact your regional, your team lead, because they should also be pretty aware of what people are working on at a given moment. So yeah, if you're just watching right now, you just head over to, I think, repositories, then you head over to, what is it? Oh yeah, that's probably gonna happen.
Not yet.
Isn't it under projects? No, it's separate, right?
What are you trying to do?
I think the repo is like associated with
Yeah, the
the
repo?
Yeah,
projects.
just go to the repo.
Okay, I probably just did.
There's a Go app backend, and then I'll create a Go app backend. You can just go there.
Okay, yeah, I see it now. Okay, so yeah, we have two separate repos. So say I'm on the backend team and I want to see that let's do another example actually. Say I'm on the front end team and I saw that someone is currently working on the login page, and I kind of want to take a look at that as well. To know exactly who is working on it, first of all, I recommend y'all just check them out on the projects board. So you would just go up there to project on your certain repo, and then it should be for view on everything. So there's the to-do list, what needs to be done, what people are currently working on. Once they're done working on that, we just quickly test it, see if it works with the other features, and then when it's done, we'll just have it up there. All these will be associated with the username, so we might need to have people change their Discord names to their GitHub usernames for simplicity. Yeah, like the server name. But yeah, I'll have the regional leads kind of develop their own rules when it comes to talking with each other. But usually in Scrum, how it goes is like every week or so, y'all will meet as a collective just to talk about what kind of needs to be done in order to further progress our sprint. So in our first sprint, probably for the first week, it will be like creating what we call like an entity relationship model. And that's like kind of just making I can show a case and example here. But it's essentially trying to create a database schema like so. So just like with all the tables as well as links towards foreign keys, this one kind of looks trashy, so probably better practices. But this is the general idea of what the backend team should probably work on. And then for the front end team, you would just be working on Figma, which I'm sure some of y'all already know, but essentially it is very similar to the app I just showed you, except it's for the design aspect of an app instead. So you can think of it a lot like Canva or PowerPoint, except it's more tailored towards developers because the tools there kind of intertwine a lot better with Flutter, I guess in this case, but usually HTML structures. So like so, you would have the pages as well as components. There are a lot of resources for learning Figma. I do not think we're going to have a workshop on it. It's not as likely, so that's something you'd have to tackle on your own. It's not too hard to learn though. It's like a 20-minute video to understand the basics, another 20-minute just to actually kind of get some more knowledge on things you would need to know for the app. Some important things to keep in mind for Figma though is keeping it consistent with the color scheme. So kind of having them all be the same set of colors that you can change it easily. So say if you want to change these all to like blue or something, you just need to change it in one spot and then it would reflect in all of them instead of manually doing it. Just good practices like that. Kind of sidetracking though. There's a when it comes to making those first steps, though, you will talk with your team managers, and then they will assign you tasks. Ahead of time, they should kind of have an idea as to what they want to plan out, either through these Thursday meetings or like just through private talk with us. So that should happen. Now, another thing I was thinking of doing is there's a lot of specific rules that will apply to different branches, different teams. So one thing I did hear about earlier was that, let's say, this is going to require a little bit of GitHub knowledge, but let's say the backend team wants to have a certain structure where they have a dev branch and then they have a test branch and a main branch, right? When it comes to things like that, like GitHub specific knowledge, I think it's a good idea that we have it in the READMEs. So that is, once again, specific to your repo and team, and that's something I will leave more or less to the team leads to discuss, like what should be put on here. But it's a good idea just so that everyone's on the same track to put a lot of information in a README or in a folder called Docs that contains all of like the kind of just documents that people need to know to get an understanding of the project. So one thing I want to do is I kind of want you guys, the front end back end team, to schedule like some time to meet with all of the people who are on your team so that y'all could actually start assigning things. There's for the front end team, I know there's a bit of a roadblock being Figma. We'll have to figure that out probably immediately. But for the back end team, I don't want to say it right now because everyone's kind of going to watch this. So I want it to be a back end specific thing. So I might just end stream, Loki. Does anyone have any questions? You're right, fair enough.